Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Mark Hamill. We're going to talk about him coming up with his own ending for Luke Skywalker. And we're going to talk about how he kind of went off the deep end, I guess, for the 4th of July over on Bluesky. That's a whole conversation. So yeah, it's kind of sad, right? I mean, this is kind of how Mark Hamill winds down his career. With
being politically pickled,
charging $500 to $700 for an autograph now at conventions.
It's insane.
But look, I want to be clear. I like Mark Hamill. I do like Mark Hamill. I just think that in his later years, he's kind of lost his way a little bit like Luke.
I liked Mark Hamill as the characters he played. I think if you see old videos of Mark Hamill, he's always kind of been an arrogant little snot. But I don't like him now. I think he's blowing up. I mean, at this point, he doesn't care. Like, what courtesy have left? Yeah. But I'm just like, he's everybody who he was beloved to so many people, and he's so busy being polarized and pickled that he's just, in this late end of his life, he's ruining his reputation. He's ruining what people love about him because he's turned into this
meme. He's basically a meme at this point.
Basically, he's so politically pickled that he's just off the deep end, and he is just doing irreparable damage to his image and his career and how people feel about him. And that's how I think. That's what I think about Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Speaking of irreparable damage, let's talk about this. I want to talk about this article and this little dipshits. They're so hung up on The Last Jedi. It's ridiculous.
Why are we still talking about The Last? Why are we making a video talking about The Last Jedi?
Because they're so desperate to make it relevant. And because let's be honest here. Sequel trilogy's dead. Last Jedi pretty much was the what killed it.
Yeah.
And it was sucked already before that, but The Last Jedi really did it in. And these journalists cannot quit it. That's all they have to cling on to.
So let's talk about those Klingons. That's different franchise. Yes. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to news.clownfishtv.com, news.clownfishtv.com. We have more podcast content over there, $5 a month. You can help support the channel, moving the memberships over there because we don't trust YouTube. So there we go. That's basically why. So let's talk about this article first, and we'll talk about his 4th of July rant.
Okay, we'll talk about the article quickly. But so this guy, go to the beginning. This guy started off, like he's going to talk about, I guess Mark Hamill had an idea for where he wanted the character to go. Yeah. This person right away. There's so much going on in Star Wars, The Force Awakens, that it's easy to forget Luke Skywalker isn't around. No, a little bit. And this is exactly what you expect. This person's like a younger person, exactly what you expect. No, bitch. The fans of the original, that you catered to and you said, come back, they're all going to be together, noticed immediately. Yeah. All right. It wasn't that you couldn't notice it. And his mission takes a backseat to the new characters and all this other stuff. Now go ahead down. He keeps stepping in it.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and read what Mark Hamill's idea for his back.
So Mark Hamill, he's actually come out before. Like if you read between the lines, he's not real happy with The Last Jedi. He's not real happy with
there's a lot of people
where Luke Skywalker's story ended, but his actually is not much better. In fact, it's a lot more tragic. He's basically like, the only reason that Luke would wind up as a hermit is if there's something really, really, really bad.
Right. And he's not wrong. And then they try to say, well, he asked about his character and Johnson told him that he was kind of like Obi-Wan, where he was protecting something else. And that's why he wasn't with this. Cause he's like, Luke would be where his friends are. He wouldn't leave his friends.
What was he protecting?
I don't know. They don't really say, but it's completely in Star Wars. It's completely in Star Wars.
All right. Well, this is what Mark Hamill thought. He said love would have ripped him away from the Jedi Order, which kind of sort of happened in the expanded universe, but not really. He said that he thought his character found a partner after the events of Star Wars: Return of the Jedi and gave up being a Jedi to focus on building a family. I want to stop right there because people were trying to speculate that Luke Skywalker was gay and Mark Hamill was on board with Luke Skywalker being gay. But he's even saying, yeah, Luke probably would have found a family to settle down
with.
Well,
he also said partner. So
partner. Well, no. So after Luke's first child was born, tragedy struck when the kid grabbed the lightsaber and ignited the blade, killing themselves instantly. Luke's wife wasn't able to handle the grief, so she took her own life. That grave of loss would send anyone to a dark place, but Hamill failed to realize that Johnson was embracing what made Star Wars great.
No, he was not. He was flushing what made Star Wars great. Okay, if Rian Johnson was legitimately bracing what made Star Wars great, how come that after the Last Jedi was out for like a week or something, it fell off a cliff, and the Rise of Skywalker did nothing? I mean, it was people didn't go. Everybody was mad. That's bullshit. You're full of crap, and you need to stop talking.
It's just, I mean, it made no. Look, in a nutshell, the Disney Star Wars trilogy made no sense. Just full stop. It made no sense. There was no cohesion. There was no outline. Again, we've said this before. Like, how hard is it when they had the photo of all of them sitting around in a circle doing the read for The Force Awakens? How hard was it for somebody to sit down with some Post-it notes and just be like, okay, this is movie 1, movie 2, movie 3. This is what we're gonna do.
Well, if you keep going down, he's such a little bitch, he won't stop. Like, he's going on. Hamill probably thinks the original version of Luke should never have left, as some characters are sacred and don't falter. But falling down is what make heroes relatable. And the faces are insurmountable odds can't breed. But he goes down and he basically says, I don't know where it's at, but he basically says that, Rian Johnson was a genius. And then he goes on, The Last Jedi is streaming on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I look, because he did a podcast interview. I guess it's been making the rounds, but he's never come right out and shit on The Last Jedi. But reading between the lines, you can tell he's disappointed. I have to wonder how, and he said he's pretty much done with Star Wars at this point, and they can do it. And I know he was really happy to come back for Mandalorian season 2, where they actually, de-aged him and had proper Luke Skywalker. Mm-hmm. But he was even to Rian Johnson. He's like, I'm really surprised that you see Luke Skywalker this way. Like, Luke wouldn't leave his friends. I mean, Luke was ready to die for his friends in the Return of the Jedi, die for his father, Return of the Jedi. And he's just like, oh, my nephew made me super sad. I'm going to...
I know it's out of character. I'm sorry. You can try to spin it all you want. It's completely
out of character.
And they were one about I forget, there was a place, I don't know if they changed it or whatever, but there was a place on here. They're basically saying that Johnson seemed to understand Star Wars better than Mark Hamill. I was like, what?
No. And beyond that, they said that it came full circle, and the reason that Luke was in hiding was they wanted to put him in the same place Ben Kenobi was. Huge difference. The reason Ben Kenobi was in hiding was to protect Luke.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Little Leia too.
And little Leia, which they had to, but that was why he was in hiding. His motivation wasn't like, I mean, yeah, he was super sad. All his friends died. The Jedi are gone, but like, he had a greater purpose. Luke Skywalker's purpose was selfish. It was a very selfish thing for him to do. The galaxy needs you, and you're super sad. So you're just going to go become a hermit somewhere and live with a bunch of space pigeons and fish nuns, and just forget that your sister needs you, your brother-in-law needed you. Oh, he's effing dead. And if you were there, maybe he wouldn't have been. Why aren't you super sad about that?
This is not Luke Skywalker, and you can suck a bag of dicks if you think otherwise.
Yeah. So that's that. So they're just going on about everything. So I gotta give a hat tip to Fandom Pulse. Speaking of going on and on about everything, Mark Hamill himself is just, God, he's just turning into sad sack hermit Luke in real life. We talked about this before, that he spends all his time on Bluesky now, just kind of ranting about politics. And here on the 4th of July, I mean, this is sad. On the 4th of July, he's posting, this year it feels more like the farce of July. And he posts this mural that they did in France of Lady Liberty hiding her face.
A couple things. One, it was a Dutch artist, but two, they did this in France. France would be speaking German right now if America didn't save their ass. Okay, then they have their own problem with immigration, and I think they're just pissed off because we're closing our border, so they're going there instead of coming here. They're all supposed to just come here so no one else has to worry about it. We have to take care of it all, and they can kiss my butt. Because we saved their rear ends, and they're such being such dicks about the whole thing. It's like, we saved your butts, and then this is how you behave. And then I do know they're having their own issues over there with illegal immigration and You see pictures of Paris and you see pictures of Tokyo and you see pictures of places, and it's like the streets are like overrun. And you know what? Then fine. If you want to take everybody in, that's your choice. But we don't have to over here.
Yeah, and the whole thing devolves into weirdly enough, an attack on Christianity, which is very much in line with Bluesky. I'm surprised this guy didn't get attacked for putting an AI picture up.
Well, then remember on Bluesky though, he got chased off because he was in a Christian movie.
Yeah, I think he just kind of like fires and forgets. He doesn't seem to engage too much with people over here, but like,
wait till they find out what what Islam and other religions think about these people that scream about it the most.
I love how Layla, she's got 3 fingers, dude. Yeah, they're all posting AI images, but I thought they were supposed to be anti AI.
And you're allowed to come to the US. You just have to do it the right way.
Yeah. I don't know. I think posting this on the 4th of July, I think is not a good, it's not a good look. Like, look, he can do whatever he wants, but I feel like he's just like having a really bad place right now. And it's like, I just feel like this is going to cast a shadow on everything he's done.
Only see anything through a political lens. And like most people are just so over, the whole Uber politics stuff. And all these people posting this shit, leave. If you don't like it here, leave. Because here's the thing. If you had posted this like 3 years ago when their people, quote unquote, were in charge, they would have been like, you're just a bunch of fascists and you need to leave. Don't like it here, leave. And it blows my mind how politically, polarized it all has become. Everything's politics. It's so stupid.
Oh God, this is like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, this feels like it's 2016 all over again. Mourning the death of our democracy, mourning the dawn of the new Yahtzee nation.
No. See, that's because they didn't win. This is called, we didn't win. So, and I'm independent. Like I'm on either side, but I cannot look at this rationally and be like, the right is as bad as the left, because they're not. The left is like off the deep end. The far left, because I was left. And basically, they've gone so far to the deep end that they're considering me right now, and I've never changed. They're just so ridiculous. If they had won and you were complaining about it, or somebody who voted for Trump was complaining about it, they'd be like, you need to get over it. We won. We need to work together now. And it's because they're having a baby hissy fit because they lost.
Hi.
You know what? Don't like it, leave. I don't like everything Trump does either. I think there's some of the stuff that he's done isn't great. But I'm not going to say everything he does is wrong either, because there are some things he does that aren't wrong. Like any other president.
Frankly, I don't think America deserves a birthday party.
Yeah, because they didn't get their way.
This is okay. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, knock this shit off. Just take a breath. Stay off the social media. Leave while people, your image is still kind of intact. But honestly, at this point, you've already kind of just buried it.
Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.